Thank you, John. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to give some optimism after all the pessimism in the market. We've got some great companies up here that are drilling rare earths, copper, diamonds. But Nathan beside me is our new VP of Exploration. I wanted to introduce him. He's had 13 years with Cameco. He's the guy that just made a new discovery in the Athabasca, and I would say it's the best discovery hole I've seen in the last 10 years. A very new event. And to give you optimism out there and let you know how things are changing, this little cube that we're giving out today gives you some idea of how strategic the uranium market is. This much uranium in a reactor will run your home for 100 years. This much uranium will fuel your lithium battery in your Tesla, not for 300 miles, but for 3 million miles. 3 million miles. Keep charging your battery. So the strategic value and the economic value of what Nathan has just drilled is quite stunning. We are in the realm of the largest uranium mines in the world, right next door to us, and these mines are 100 times richer and 100 times larger than the average uranium mines in the world. So that's why I wanted to come back to this. This much uranium will power your lithium battery in your Tesla for 3 million miles, not 300 miles. Here's Nathan.
Okay. Thanks, Peter. Thanks for that introduction. So obviously, it's a forward-looking statement. So for a presentation today here, I'm going to focus on the discovery that John's talked about, but I'd be remiss to not talk about the rest of the company. So Canalaska Uranium in 2021, our mantra is that we're on the cusp of a major discovery. And the reason we believe that is because we had 3 projects in our portfolio that were responding. A new polymetallic discovery on Waterbury South. We were drilling high-grade uranium on our West MacArthur JV with Cameco. And we had multiple new intersections on our Moon Lake South project. And I'm happy to report after our 2022 summer drill program that we believe we've delivered on this. So at our West MacArthur project, as John alluded to here, we had a new discovery that we announced in July of this year. This is a high-grade uranium discovery. We've got about 9 meters at 2.4%. It's 100 meters below the unconformity, and it's 6 kilometers away from any of the other discoveries on the project. So this is a new zone, a long trend of historical mineralization. So very quickly, the company, very well-structured company right now. We've got 100 million shares outstanding, 145 fully diluted, market cap hovering in around the $50 million range right now. And we have about $10 million in the bank, expect to finish the year with about $9 million in the treasury. We have a very strong board, over 140 years of Athabasca Basin experience between our board and our management team, and a lot of experience under our belt drilling these types of deposits. So Canalaska is a project generator, a hybrid project generator, and what that means from a junior perspective is that we have some projects that we operate on our own, and we have some projects that we joint venture out. We have 2 major focuses. Our main focus is clean energy metals, so uranium, copper, and nickel, but the uranium and the nickel dominate the portfolio. I'm going to focus on the uranium today. Obviously, that's where our new discovery is. We have access to over 300,000 hectares of ground in the Athabasca Basin. We're looking for uranium. The Athabasca Basin in Saskatchewan is the place to be. We also have access to over 200,000 hectares of available ground in the Thompson Nickel Belt in Manitoba. And the way we came about this is, uranium hasn't exactly been the metal of choice over the last 10 years. So what do you do when nobody wants to talk about uranium? You go assemble a different portfolio. And what the company managed to do is assemble a large nickel portfolio and nickel sulfide mineralization. So I will touch on that very briefly at the end, but today's focus is uranium. So as Peter mentioned, we're focused in the eastern Athabasca Basin, a very infrastructure-rich area, lots of historical discoveries. The area's been explored since the 50s. There's quite a bit of activity in the area. The key for the West MacArthur project here is location. So you can see the MacArthur River mine on the screen here. This is the world's richest uranium mine. Most of the global resources up until they shut down for care and maintenance a few years ago came out of this mine. The MacArthur River mine is hosted along the P2 structure. Now there's another corridor called the C10 corridor, and this is located here just on the Cameco's Reed Lake property. So when I was with Cameco, we discovered the Fox Lake deposits, about 68 million pounds at 8% uranium, located along the C10 corridor. In 2016, Cameco entered an option agreement to come into the West MacArthur project with Canalaska, where we discovered the 42 zone. You can see that's located right at the boundary between the two properties. We get about 5% uranium in the drill holes here. So what we set out with when I came on about a year ago was to understand the rest of the corridor. Where does this corridor go? We've got a mineralized corridor in the Athabasca Basin. It has to go somewhere. So where does it actually go? So we went out and redid our geophysical data. I think Peter and the team might have cringed a little bit when I said we need to redo all the geophysics on this property because it's just not telling us the right thing. We drilled some holes out there. We're not getting the responses we deserve. Something's wrong with the data. So we went and redid our entire geophysical survey. It shifted all our conductive features. Our conductive features are what we're looking for. All the features shifted. We could see two trends in the data. We figured we might as well go out and we're going to test both trends. So the first thing we did, you can see 66 here, is we drilled this trend. We didn't get anything. That's okay. It happens. We came out, we drilled WMA 67 as our second hole of the season, and we intersected a high-grade basement-hosted deposit here. So now we've got new basement mineralization on this trend that has seen no drilling essentially for upwards of 15 kilometers. So what does it actually look like? So, pictures tells 1,000 words here. So WMA 67 is the hole that we drilled here. It's high-grade uranium, about 9 meters at 2.5% uranium. It includes a 6-meter wide sub-interval of about 3.5% uranium. We got up to 6% grade in our assays. We're 100 meters below the unconformity, open in all directions. And so what's really important here is this is a new significant discovery. It's not an extension of a known mineralization. We're not stepping out a couple hundred meters here or there. This is 6 kilometers away from anything else on the property. As I put that into perspective a little bit, what's it mean relative to the other deposits? So unconformity deposits often have a keel or a basement root to them. And you look at a deposit like Millennium or MacArthur or Eagle Point, the image I have on screen here, they have these high-grade keels that are in the basement, and typically those are related to the main mineralization body at the unconformity. And so for reference here, we have a picture underground from the Eagle Point mine, and you can see here the vein is about 1 meter wide. The WMA 67 hole is about 6 meters wide for our high-grade interval in that hole. It means there's 6 times the width of what sustained the Eagle Point mine for its entire production. Now, these basement deposits are structurally controlled. So it's important to be able to understand them. You have to spend some time digging around and figuring out the control of the structure that actually controls that mineralization. And what I want to take away from here is the WMA 67 fence is just one point on the picture right now. So we're open in all directions. We have our mineralization in the basement. We're still drilling on this project right now, actually, as I speak. What we're doing is we're trying to understand what controls this feature. So as you get these basement deposits, where the structures interact, you have to be able to understand how to chase that up to the unconformity where that main target exists. This is deep drilling here, as John mentioned, so we don't want to be wasting drill holes trying to hit that target at the unconformity if we don't know exactly where it is. Is it straight up? Is it left? Is it right? We need to understand that. But what encourages me the most about this, and I alluded to it earlier, is that this is open on strike. So you can see on the image on the right here, we have drilled on one fence. We have 6 kilometers to the east here, where we have our 42 zone mineralization, which is also high-grade uranium mineralization. More importantly, we have 9 kilometers to the property boundary. There's no drill holes in this entire trend. It's very rare in the Athabasca Basin in general to find a trend that's 15 kilometers long that only has one drill hole in it, let alone one that has a mineralized drill hole in it. So I'm excited about that. I'm encouraged about that. And why this is important is it's that strategic opportunity being in the eastern Athabasca. So our partners on the West MacArthur project are Cameco. They own 20% of the project. Cameco's Key Lake Mill, which is just down the road, the minute they restart that MacArthur River mine, they have 15 to 20 years of production left. It takes well over 20 years to bring one of these unconformity deposits into production. So Cameco's going to have $1 billion asset that needs new discovery and a new feed for their mill. And what's important here is that this discovery is on a trend that has other mineralization. There's other deposits along it. So this isn't a standoff, one-of-a-kind discovery. You've got the Fox Lake deposits at 68 million pounds. You have the mineralization at the 42 zone. We're now another 6 kilometers on strike, and we're showing that potential for the high-grade mineralization still exists even along strike. So we've got a growing target here, a mineralized corridor that provides a potential opportunity for additional discovery. So to very quickly, just to wrap up here, West MacArthur obviously is our focus right now. With the discovery, the team's very active. We've been spending quite a bit of time there. We're drilling there right now. We expect to be drilling starting again in January after breakup here. We're hoping to get back at it with at least the program we did this year, but arguably I would hope to double that program. We also have the project generator model. So we do have a few new projects. There's 3 of them in the Eastern Athabasca that are under an option agreement with a new Australian listed company called Basin Energy. That should inject about $15 million into our project portfolio. We're also working on deals on our other projects. As I mentioned, we have a very large land package, so we do have access to a lot of exploration space in the Athabasca Basin. So stay tuned for these other projects. We are working on them. And as I mentioned, we have the nickel piece, and I really didn't touch on it today, but we've been quite active in the Thompson Nickel Belt. So we just did a deal in April of 2021, an option agreement with a new partner, Metal Energy, for them to earn in on our Manabridge project. It's located in the southern part of the Thompson Nickel Belt here. We completed a drill program for them this winter. We had 6 holes. All of them had nickel sulfide mineralization in it. The results were quite encouraging, and so Metal Energy is now actively drilling on that as well. We've got a 10,000 meter summer program that they're completing again as we speak. So lots of opportunity in the portfolio. Yes, we do have a new discovery, and I'm very excited about that. But we also have lots of other opportunity in the portfolio. So I think you know we check all the boxes, and yeah, we're advancing our discoveries, and we hope to have you in there with us. So thank you for your time today.